So far, we have worked with the queries. Now in this lesson, we're going to work with the mutations. There's a difference between query and mutation. With the help of queries, we can fetch or retrieve the data. And if we talk about the mutation, then we can insert, update, or delete the record with the help of mutation. In REST API, we mostly use get for data retrieval, post for insertion of data, put for updation of data, and delete, of course, for deletion of data. But now in case of GraphQL, we use query instead of get. And for post, put, and delete, we use mutation. Now in this lesson, we're going to explore the mutation. Let's go to the docs. And there we have query and mutation. Just click on the mutation, and this will give us all of the mutation that we can use in this GitHub graphical playground. We're going to work with the create project mutation. If you find it hard to go to this create project mutation, then just search the create project mutation in the search bar. And we'll get the create project mutation here. Just click on it, and this will tell us further details of the mutation, like what is the type of the mutation and what kind of arguments this mutation will take. So this create project mutation is of type create project payload. It means this mutation will return the fields according to this create project payload object. And our mutation will take the argument of type create project input. Now let's start writing our first mutation. When we'll add the query, then we'll start with the query keyword. Now this time we are working with a mutation, so we will use the mutation keyword. We will provide any user-friendly name to our mutation. I'm gonna provide a name which is add project. Then let's add a pair of curly brackets, and we're going to pick our mutation which is create project. This create project will take an input of type create project input, which is required. Now to pass the create project input record inside the mutation, we need to use the variable just like we did in case of query. So first of all, we will add parentheses along with the mutation name, and inside this, let's add a variable and we name it input. Then we'll pass the type of argument which is create project input. And use the exclamation mark which represents that this is required. Alright, now along with the create project, we will add the input argument and pass the name of our variable here. Okay, now let's add the curly brackets, and there I want to show you that this mutation will return two things, the mutation ID and the project field, which will further return the subfields. When we'll pass the data to our input arguments, then it's up to us how many fields we want to return. Just return the mutation ID and project field, which will further return many subfields. But let's use few of them like ID, created at, and URL. Now from the query variable, we need to pass the value to this input variable. So inside the query variable, let's pick this input variable. Now I want to show you that earlier when we have worked with the query, then we have two variables of string type, and we have assigned the values to the variables. But this time, this input is like an object. So we use the curly brackets here, and then we have been asked what kind of data you want to add. Let's use the owner ID. Now how to get the value of owner ID? Well, if you have logged into your GitHub account, then you know at the start of this course, we have used the viewer query, which basically returns the owner ID. Let me open the new window. And there I'm going to write this viewer query to return the owner ID. Alright, here we go. This is my owner ID. You may have a different owner ID. Let's pick your owner ID and then switch back to your mutation and then paste the owner ID in the double quotes because the type of the owner ID is string. Now let's give a name to your project. I'm gonna name it my first GraphQL project. Then I'm gonna add the body of this project and provide any random description here. Now we will use the mutation ID. In the mutation ID, we just need to pass any random value which represents the unique identifier of the client who is making the mutation. Just pass any random value here. Alright, note it, we don't need to pass all the data. I think it's enough and we need to click on this play icon. And here we go. We'll get a response here and our data has been added. Or in short, we have implemented the mutation. Now, how to check whether this data is actually added or not? Let's go to your GitHub and click on your project. There you'll see the project which we have created. Alright, similarly we can add more projects. Just go to your query variable and this time let's name our project to second GraphQL project. And just play it. Now if we come back, refresh the page, then you'll see our second project here. Alright, well, pretty awesome. That's all from the mutation. Now when we will work with the .NET Core GraphQL project, then we will also explore the update and delete functionality via mutation. Stay tuned because I'll be right back in the next lesson.